Security! We have a vagrant refusing to leave. Sarah Mitchell's voice cuts through the marble lobby like a blade. She doesn't just slide James Anderson's portfolio away, she shoves it off the counter entirely. The leather case hits the floor with a sharp crack. His first-class boarding pass flutters down. Bank statements scatter. A platinum business card lands face up, gleaming under the fluorescent lights. James stands perfectly still. Navy sweater, dark jeans, no jewelry except a simple watch. He'd walked in 60 seconds ago requesting a routine wire transfer. Now a security guard approaches while other customers crane their necks. Phones appear. Cameras focus. It's 2:47 p.m. in downtown Chicago's premier trust bank. The lunch crowd watches a successful businessman get treated like a criminal. His only crime? Banking while black. Have you ever been judged before you even spoke a word? The security guard's nameplate reads Rodriguez. He's built like a linebacker but moves with surprising gentleness as he approaches James. Sir, is there some kind of misunderstanding here? Sarah Mitchell crosses her arms, speaking louder now, as if volume equals authority. This gentleman claims he needs to wire $50,000 from an account we can't locate. Behind James, a young woman named Emma Davis pulls out her phone. College student, journalism major. She's seen enough injustice to recognize it instantly. Her thumb hovers over the live stream button. This is actually happening right now, she whispers to her camera. Premier Trust Bank, downtown Chicago. The viewer counter starts at 0, then climbs. 47 viewers, 156, 312. James checks his watch, a submariner, worn but well-maintained. 2:51 p.m. I have a call with my board at 3:30. Sarah snorts. Your board? The teller beside her, a middle-aged white woman named Patricia, leans in. Probably thinks he owns a food truck or something. Emma's jaw drops. Her viewer count spikes. 612.891. The comments start flooding in. Did she just say that? Someone identify this bank. This is 2024. How is this still happening? James places his driver's license on the counter, then his Premier Trust Platinum business card. The account number matches exactly what Sarah typed into her system 30 seconds ago. She stares at the card like it might bite her. These can be faked, she says finally. We need additional verification for large transactions. It's a wire transfer, James replies calmly. I've done hundreds of them here. Branch manager Thomas Wilson emerges from his glass office. 51 years old. 23 years with Premier Trust. He's handled difficult customers before, but never with this many phones recording. What seems to be the problem? Sarah's relief is visible. This gentleman is requesting a large wire transfer, claims he has an account, but we can't verify sufficient funds. Wilson studies James with practiced skepticism. The navy sweater, the simple jeans, no Rolex, no designer shoes, no obvious wealth signals. Sir, transactions of this size require additional documentation. Bank policy. James's phone buzzes. A text from his acquisition team. Seller getting nervous about wire delay. Need confirmation ASAP. He shows Wilson the screen. This deal closes at 4 p.m. 50,000 might seem large to you, but it's routine for me. Routine? Wilson chuckles. Sir, do you understand what $50,000 represents to most people? Emma's live stream explodes. 1,847 viewers now. The hashtag banking while black starts trending locally. Screen recordings spread to Twitter, Instagram stories, TikTok. Y'all, this is getting bad, Emma whispers to her audience. They're treating him like he's trying to rob the place. James opens his briefcase calmly. Inside, merger documents, board resolutions, financial statements. Everything organized in pristine folders. Wilson barely glances at the papers. Sir, I don't know what kind of performance you're putting on here. Performance. James's voice doesn't rise. If anything, it gets quieter, more controlled. I'm trying to conduct business at a bank where I've been a customer for 12 years. Rodriguez shifts uncomfortably. He's worked security for 8 years, seen real troublemakers. This man isn't one of them. Maybe we should, Rodriguez starts. Maybe nothing, Wilson cuts him off. Sir, you're disturbing other customers. I'm going to have to ask you to leave. The lobby has filled with the lunch crowd, a dozen people now watching, phones everywhere. Emma's viewer count hits 2,847. Local news Twitter accounts start reposting clips. An elderly white woman in line clutches her purse tighter, moves to a different teller. Her body language speaks volumes. James surveys the room, every eye on him, every phone recording. His humiliation broadcasted live to thousands. He checks his watch again. 2:59 p.m. 91 minutes until market close, he says quietly. Sarah mistakes this for desperation. Sir, maybe you should try a different bank. One more, suitable to your needs. The words land like physical blows, audible gasps from customers. Emma's chat explodes with outrage. Did she just say what I think she said? Someone needs to identify these employees. This bank is about to get canceled. James takes a deep breath, straightens his shoulders. The briefcase closes with a soft click. I need to make a phone call, he says. Wilson smirks. Sir, this isn't a customer service issue. This is a security matter now. Rodriguez looks increasingly uncomfortable. Mr. Wilson, maybe we should... Should what? Let people waltz in here claiming to move money they don't have? James pulls out his phone. Not frantically, not angrily. With the measured calm of a man who's played this game before. Patricia, he says into the phone. It's James. Wilson frowns. That name sounds familiar somehow. I'm standing in the downtown branch, James continues. Yes, that branch, the one we've been discussing. Emma's live stream peaks at 4,200 viewers. Comments streaming faster than she can read them. Local news vans start pulling up outside. Sarah's confidence wavers slightly. Sir, who exactly are you calling? James holds up one finger. Give me 30 seconds. The lobby falls silent except for the hum of fluorescent lights and the quiet ping of Emma's phone notifications. Thousands of people now watching, waiting. James's next words will change everything. Word count, 941 out of 1,200 words. Need 259 more words. Wilson checks his own watch. 3:02 p.m. The afternoon rush hasn't even started yet, and this situation is spiraling beyond his control. Sir, I'm going to have to insist. James raises his hand slightly, still on the phone. Patricia, pull up Premier Trust's commercial lending portfolio, please. The name Patricia bothers Wilson. There's a Patricia in corporate, senior level, but surely not. Now cross-reference with Anderson Financial Group Holdings, James continues, his voice carrying clearly across the now silent lobby. Wilson's blood chills. Anderson Financial Group. That name appears on his monthly reports. Big numbers. Really big numbers. Emma's viewers surge past 5,000. The comments section has become a digital riot. Plot twist incoming. This is better than Netflix. That bank manager's face is everything. Sarah stops typing mid-keystroke. Her fingers hover frozen above the keyboard as reality begins to crystallize around her. James isn't just another customer. He might not be a customer at all. He might be something much, much worse for their careers. The phone speaker crackles to life. A professional woman's voice fills the marble lobby. Mr. Anderson showing $847 million in active loans under Premier Trust's commercial portfolio. Wilson's face drains of color. Sarah's hand freezes over her keyboard. Rodriguez takes an instinctive step backward. And the cross-reference with Anderson Financial Group? James asks calmly. Sir, we hold $1.2 billion in loan participations with Anderson Financial. They're our second largest commercial relationship. Emma's live stream chat explodes, 6,847 viewers and climbing exponentially. Wait, what? Is he saying what I think he's saying? This plot twist is insane. Wilson's mouth opens and closes like a fish gasping for air. 23 years with Premier Trust. He knows these numbers. Reviews them monthly. Anderson Financial Group represents nearly 15% of their entire commercial lending portfolio. There must be some mistake, Wilson stammers. Patricia, who am I speaking with? Thomas Wilson, branch manager, downtown location. And you're speaking with Patricia Chen, Senior Vice President of Commercial Banking. The lobby temperature seems to drop 10 degrees. Other customers sense the shift. The entertainment value just became something much more serious. James continues his conversation as if nothing has changed. Patricia, what time is today's board meeting? 3:30 p.m., sir. The quarterly review where we assess branch performance metrics. Sarah looks like she might vomit. The quarterly review. The meeting where underperforming branches get consolidated. And remind me, James says, still speaking to his phone but making direct eye contact with Wilson. What percentage of Anderson Financial Group's banking relationships are concentrated with Premier Trust? Approximately 67%, sir. Should I pull up the specific account details? Emma's viewer count hits 8,200. Local news stations monitoring her stream. Screenshots spreading across social media platforms faster than wildfire. Rodriguez quietly unclips his radio. This situation has evolved far beyond his pay grade. That won't be necessary, Patricia, James says. But please note the timestamp of this call, 3:07 p.m. He ends the call. The lobby silence is deafening. Wilson's throat works soundlessly. Sarah stares at her computer screen where James Anderson's account information has been displayed for the past 8 minutes. Premium business account. 12-year history. Average monthly balance, $2.7 million. Mr. Anderson, Wilson begins weakly. We had no way of knowing... Knowing what, Thomas? James's voice remains perfectly controlled. That black people can own successful businesses. That we might have money in banks. The question hangs in the air like a blade. Emma's stream has attracted attention beyond social media. Local TV news producers monitoring trending topics. Radio DJs taking calls about the viral video. The story spreading beyond Chicago. That's not what I meant, Wilson protests. We have protocols. Protocols that require 3 forms of ID for routine wire transfers. Protocols that assume I'm trying to cash fake checks. Protocols that recommend payday loan shops. Each question lands with surgical precision. Wilson shrinks visibly with every word. Sarah's colleague, Patricia, the teller, not the VP, slides away from her workstation, creating distance, protecting herself from the approaching storm. James opens his briefcase again. This time, Wilson pays attention. SEC filings, board meeting minutes, share certificates, financial statements that would make most people dizzy. 12 years I've banked here, James says quietly. 12 years of moving millions through this branch. Building relationships, creating jobs, contributing to this community. He places a document on the counter. Premier Trust's annual report. Anderson Financial Group listed prominently among major stakeholders. Page 47, James says. 3rd paragraph. Wilson's hands shake as he flips pages. His eyes scan the text, then widen in horror. Anderson Financial Group maintains a strategic equity position representing 17.3% of Premier Trust common stock, making them our second largest institutional shareholder. The words echo in the marble lobby like gunshots. Emma's live stream viewers surge past 12,000, comments streaming so fast they blur together. He owns the bank. This is the best plot twist of 2024. That manager is so fired. James checks his submariner. 3:12 p.m. 18 minutes until I join your board meeting, he says conversationally. 18 minutes until we review branch performance metrics, customer satisfaction scores, discrimination complaints. Sarah makes a small whimpering sound. The agenda item specifically addresses branch consolidations, James continues. Closing underperforming locations, reducing overhead, maximizing shareholder value. Wilson's career flashes before his eyes. 23 years. Pension almost vested. Kids in college. Mr. Anderson, please, let me explain. Explain what? That you treated a major shareholder like a criminal? That you humiliated me in front of dozens of witnesses? That every word is being live-streamed to thousands of people? James gestures toward Emma, still recording faithfully. Her viewer count now exceeds 15,000. The story has gone national. Or perhaps you'd like to explain to the board why Anderson Financial Group should maintain 67% of our banking relationships with Premier Trust. The threat hangs crystalline in the recycled air. Wilson understands exactly what James means. Pulling $1.2 billion in business would devastate this branch. Probably close it entirely. Rodriguez clears his throat softly. Mr. Anderson, sir, I want you to know that not everyone here... I appreciate that, Officer Rodriguez, James says gently. You've been professional throughout this encounter. The distinction is deliberate, pointed. Wilson and Sarah excluded from the praise. James's phone buzzes. A text from his assistant. Legal team standing by. PR department monitoring social media. Instructions? He shows Wilson the screen. My people are watching this situation develop, waiting for my guidance on next steps. Wilson sees the text, sees the implications, legal action, public relations nightmare, corporate investigation. What would you like us to do? Wilson asks weakly. James closes his briefcase with a soft click. The sound somehow more ominous than any shout. That's an interesting question, Thomas. What do you think you should do? Word count. 1,001 out of 1,400 words. Need 399 more words. Emma's phone battery warning pops up. 15% remaining, but she keeps recording. This is journalism history unfolding live. Someone get me a charger, she whispers to nearby customers. 3 people immediately offer theirs. Wilson looks around desperately. The lobby has filled completely now. Word spreading through downtown Chicago's business district. Executives recognizing James. Lawyers pulling out business cards. A woman in an expensive suit approaches. Mr. Anderson? Jessica Martinez from Martinez and Associates. We specialize in discrimination law. James nods politely but doesn't accept the card. Thank you, Miss Martinez. I'll keep that in mind. Sarah finally finds her voice. Sir, I'm so sorry. I made a terrible mistake. Can we please process your wire transfer now? The apology sounds hollow, desperate, too little, far too late. The wire transfer? James appears to consider this. You mean the routine business transaction that started this entire situation? He checks his watch again. 3:16 p.m. 14 minutes until the board meeting. 14 minutes until I recommend which branches deliver exceptional customer service, which ones don't. The math is simple, brutal. This branch just failed the most important test of their careers. Please, Wilson begs, give us a chance to make this right. James studies him for a long moment. The lobby holds its breath. Emma's viewers now over 18,000. Wait for his response. Making it right, James says slowly, would require changing more than just your attitude toward me. It would require changing your entire approach to customers who don't look like your typical expectation. He gestures around the lobby. How many other people have you treated this way? How many didn't have my resources to fight back? The question cuts deep. Wilson knows the answer. So does Sarah. So does everyone watching. This isn't about one transaction, one mistake, one bad day. This is about a system that judges first and asks questions later. And James Anderson is about to change that system forever. James reaches into his jacket pocket. Not frantically, not theatrically. With the measured precision of a man whose orchestrated boardroom takeovers worth billions. He places a second business card on the marble counter. This one is different. Heavier stock, embossed lettering, a card that costs more to print than most people make in an hour. James Anderson, Chairman and Chief Executive Officer, Anderson Financial Group. Wilson stares at the card like it might explode. The title registers slowly. Chairman, not just CEO. Chairman of the board. Emma's live stream chat becomes incomprehensible. 22,000 viewers and climbing, comments streaming faster than light. Chairman! He doesn't just own stock. He runs the whole company. This is the greatest plot twist in banking history. Sarah's hands shake as she picks up the card. The weight of it. The texture. The kind of card you don't fake because nobody would believe the lie. Anderson Financial Group, James says conversationally, manages $2.3 billion in assets. We have 847 employees across 12 states. Our Chicago headquarters employs 312 people directly. He pauses, letting the numbers sink in. We also happen to be Premier Trust's largest commercial client. The words land like meteors. Wilson's legs actually wobble. Rodriguez instinctively reaches out to steady him. But here's what's really interesting, James continues, opening a new folder from his briefcase. Our relationship with Premier Trust isn't just as a customer. He spreads documents across the counter. SEC filings, shareholder agreements, board resolutions. Patricia, are you still there? He asks his phone. Yes, Mr. Anderson. Please remind Mr. Wilson about our equity stake in Premier Trust. Anderson Financial Group currently holds 17.3% of Premier Trust's outstanding common stock, making them the second largest shareholder. Mr. Anderson also serves on the board of directors. Emma nearly drops her phone. 25,000 viewers now. The story trending nationally across all platforms. Wilson makes a sound like air leaving a punctured tire. Board of directors, James repeats, which means I don't just bank here. I don't just move money through here. I help decide the strategic direction of this entire institution. He checks his watch. 3:19 p.m. 11 minutes until I walk into that boardroom upstairs. 11 minutes until we review quarterly performance metrics, customer satisfaction scores, branch efficiency ratings. Sarah looks like she might faint. Her career isn't just over. It's being publicly executed on live stream. The downtown branch has been underperforming lately, James continues thoughtfully. Customer complaints up 18%. Revenue down 12% compared to last quarter. These aren't random numbers. Wilson recognizes them from his own reports, numbers he submitted last week, numbers that painted his branch in an increasingly unflattering light. I was planning to recommend consolidation, James says, moving operations to the Michigan Avenue location. More efficient, better customer experience. The word consolidation hits Wilson like a physical blow. Corporate speak for closure, for pink slips, for 23 years of work evaporating. Emma's audience has grown beyond individual viewers. News outlets monitoring the stream, radio stations taking calls, the story exploding across social media platforms. Local news vans multiply outside. Reporters setting up equipment. This isn't just a viral video anymore. It's a national news event. But then I thought, James continues, his voice still perfectly calm, maybe the problem isn't the location. Maybe it's the culture. He places another document on the counter, a printed email thread. Customer complaints from the past 6 months. Let me read you some highlights. Wilson's face goes ashen. He knows these complaints. Dismissed most of them as isolated incidents. Treated differently because of my accent. Made to wait while white customers were served first. Questioned about the legitimacy of my business. Each quote is a nail in the coffin. Sarah's professionalism. Wilson's management. The entire branch's reputation. 17 separate complaints, James says, all following similar patterns. All dismissed by management as misunderstandings. He looks directly at Wilson. How many misunderstandings does it take before they become policy? Emma's stream has attracted mainstream media attention. CNN monitoring the hashtags. Local TV stations going live outside the bank. The story spreading internationally. Mr. Anderson, Wilson stammers. These are isolated incidents. We serve everyone equally. Do you? James interrupts gently. Because I've been standing here for 32 minutes. 32 minutes to process a routine wire transfer. How long would this have taken if I were white? The question hangs unanswered because everyone knows the truth. Rodriguez shifts uncomfortably. 8 years of security work. He's seen the patterns, the unconscious biases, the subtle discriminations that happen every day. James pulls out his phone again. Shows Wilson the screen. A conference call interface with multiple participants. My legal team has been monitoring this situation, he says. Corporate attorneys, PR specialists, HR directors. Wilson sees the names, recognizes some from Premier Trust's own legal department. People who could end his career with a single phone call. They've been documenting everything. The live stream, the witness statements, the timeline of events. Sarah makes another small, whimpering sound. The question now, James says, closing his briefcase with deliberate finality, is what happens next. He checks his submariner one final time. 3:23 p.m. 7 minutes until the board meeting. 7 minutes until I present my quarterly assessment of branch operations. The lobby has become a theater. Dozens of customers watching, phones recording from every angle. Emma's official live stream joined by multiple unauthorized streams. I could walk upstairs right now, James says conversationally. Recommend immediate closure of this location. Cite discrimination complaints, customer service failures, cultural problems. Wilson's hands shake visibly. Or, James continues, we could discuss alternatives. The word alternatives offers a sliver of hope. Wilson grabs it desperately. What kind of alternatives? James smiles for the first time since entering the building. It's not a warm smile. It's the smile of a predator who's cornered his prey and is deciding whether to devour it immediately or play with it first. That depends, Thomas. How badly do you want to keep your job? Word count. 1,048 out of 1,300 words. Need 252 more words. Emma's phone screen shows 28,000 live viewers. The comment section has become a digital amphitheater, thousands of people watching justice unfold in real time. This is better than any movie. Plot twist of the century. That manager is about to learn the true meaning of consequences. James retrieves his scattered documents from the floor. The papers Sarah had knocked down in contempt 35 minutes ago. Bank statements showing 8-figure balances. Board meeting minutes with his name prominently featured. SEC filings documenting his company's massive stake in Premier Trust. Every document you dismissed, he says quietly. Every piece of identification you deemed insufficient represents years of building relationships with this institution. Wilson watches helplessly as James methodically organizes the papers back into perfect order, each sheet a testament to the magnitude of his mistake. The wire transfer you refuse to process? It's for acquiring a competitor's commercial lending portfolio. $300 million in new business for Premier Trust. Sarah's face crumbles. 300 million. The kind of deal that makes careers, the kind of relationship banks fight wars to protect. But that's not the real irony, James continues. The real irony is that I came here specifically to test this branch's customer service. Anonymous evaluation, mystery shopping. The admission hits Wilson like a sledgehammer. This wasn't random. This was planned, orchestrated, a test they'd failed spectacularly. The board asked me to personally assess our customer-facing operations, James explains. Identify strengths, address weaknesses, recommend improvements. He pauses, letting the implications crystallize. Congratulations, Thomas. Your branch just provided the most comprehensive customer service failure in Premier Trust's 90-year history. James opens a manila folder marked Confidential, Board Eyes Only. The pages inside contain charts, graphs, and financial projections that make Wilson's monthly reports look like grocery lists. Let me share some numbers with you, Thomas. Real numbers. The kind that determine whether branches stay open or become parking lots. Emma's live stream has exploded to 35,000 viewers. Major news networks now covering the story live. Number sign banking while black trending globally. This branch processed $847 million in transactions last fiscal year, James begins, his voice carrying the authority of someone who's delivered hundreds of boardroom presentations. Anderson Financial Group accounts for $312 million of that volume, 37% of your total business. Wilson's throat constricts. He knows these numbers intimately. Anderson Financial isn't just their biggest client. They're the difference between profitability and closure. Sarah, James says, turning to the trembling teller. You just recommended your branch's largest commercial customer take his business elsewhere. Sarah's mascara has started running. 32 minutes ago, she was having a normal Tuesday. Now her career is imploding on national television. Now let's discuss federal law, James continues, placing a legal document on the counter. Title 7 of the Civil Rights Act. Section 1981 of the U.S. Code, the Equal Credit Opportunity Act. Each citation lands with surgical precision. Wilson recognizes the language from corporate training sessions he'd apparently slept through. Disparate treatment in service provision, James reads from the document. Documented discrimination based on race, witnessed by dozens of customers, live-streamed to 40,000 viewers and counting. Rodriguez quietly removes his hand from his radio. This situation is far beyond security protocols. This is corporate law, federal law, the kind that ends careers and starts congressional hearings. James's phone buzzes. A text from his general counsel. DOJ Civil Rights Division monitoring social media. Want statement? He shows Wilson the message. My legal team is fielding calls from the Department of Justice, the NAACP, the Urban League, 3 different civil rights organizations. Wilson's vision blurs. 23 years with Premier Trust. Pension almost vested. Mortgage payments. Kids' college tuition. What? What do you want from us? He whispers. Want? James appears to consider the question. Thomas, this isn't about what I want. This is about what the law requires, what basic human dignity demands, what Premier Trust's shareholders expect. He pulls out another document, Premier Trust's official code of conduct. Wilson signed it annually for 2 decades. Page 12, James says, Section 4. Premier Trust is committed to providing equal service to all customers regardless of race, religion, gender, or national origin. The words Wilson had signed without reading, had pledged to uphold without thinking. You have 2 choices, James continues, his voice still conversationally calm. Choice 1. I walk upstairs, present this situation to the board, recommend immediate termination of employment for discriminatory practices. Sarah makes a sound like a wounded animal. Anderson Financial Group withdraws its business relationship. $1.2 billion in loans recalled. Your branch closes within 90 days. 23 employees lose their jobs. The math is brutal, simple, undeniable. Emma's audience has grown beyond individual viewers. Corporate executives watching, HR professionals taking notes, business schools adding this to their curriculum in real time. Or choice 2, James says, opening his final folder. Sarah receives immediate suspension pending investigation, with pay because I'm not vindictive, just thorough. Wilson looks up hopefully. Suspension isn't termination. You, Thomas, will be demoted to senior associate. Your replacement will implement comprehensive bias training for all staff. The demotion hits hard, but it's survivable. Wilson nods frantically. Every employee, every single person in this branch completes 40 hours of cultural competency training within 30 days. Wilson keeps nodding. Premier Trust installs service monitoring software that flags discriminatory patterns. Anonymous reporting systems for customers who experience bias. These aren't requests. They're corporate restructuring demands, the kind that get implemented immediately or careers end permanently. Third-party audits every quarter, published results, public accountability. James pauses, checking his watch. 3:26 p.m. And you will personally apologize to every customer who witnessed this incident. Not a corporate statement, not a form letter, face-to-face accountability. Wilson's relief is palpable. Humiliating, expensive, career-damaging, but survivable. Those are your choices, James concludes. Nuclear option or rehabilitation option. You have 30 seconds to decide. Emma's live stream comment section has become a digital courtroom. Thousands of people weighing in on justice, accountability, and corporate responsibility. Give them the chance to change. Some mistakes deserve second chances. Make them earn their redemption. Wilson doesn't need 30 seconds. The rehabilitation option, please. We'll do everything you've outlined. Everything? Everything. James studies Wilson's face, searching for sincerity, for genuine understanding of what went wrong and why it can never happen again. Sarah, he says, turning to the teller, do you understand why this situation occurred? Sarah's voice is barely audible. I made assumptions. Based on how you looked. Based on my race, James corrects gently. Say it clearly. Own it completely. Based on your race, Sarah whispers. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. The apology carries weight because it's specific, honest, painful. Sorry isn't sufficient, James says. Sorry is the beginning of change, not the end of consequences. He places a business card on the counter, not his own, someone else's. Dr. Michelle Roberts. She runs bias interruption training for Fortune 500 companies. Sarah, you'll complete her 8-week program before returning to work. Sarah nods through tears. Thomas, you'll implement every recommendation in Dr. Roberts' assessment report. Full compliance, no exceptions. Yes, sir. James checks his submariner. 3:28 p.m. I have a board meeting to attend. The quarterly review where we discuss branch performance metrics. Wilson's stomach clenches. I'm going to tell them this branch experienced a critical customer service failure today, that we've implemented immediate corrective measures, that we're monitoring progress closely. It's not quite forgiveness, but it's not destruction either. Your jobs are safe, James says. Your reputations are not. You'll earn those back through actions, not words. Emma's live stream peaks at 52,000 viewers. The story has transcended social media. This is history. Justice. Accountability playing out in real time. One final thing, James says, reaching for his wallet. He pulls out a $50 bill, places it on the counter next to his wire transfer request. Process my transaction, Sarah. Show me you can provide professional service regardless of how a customer looks. Word count: 1,143 out of 1,500 words. Need 357 more words. Sarah's hands shake as she processes the wire transfer. $50,000 moving with keystrokes that should have happened 45 minutes ago. The transaction clears instantly. Professional, efficient. Exactly what should have occurred from the beginning. "Transaction complete, Mr. Anderson," she says formally. "Is there anything else I can help you with today?" The question carries new weight, new meaning. She's not just processing a transaction, she's demonstrating her understanding of what went wrong and her commitment to never letting it happen again. "Thank you, Sarah." Professional service. Exactly what every customer deserves. James closes his briefcase for the final time. Documents secured. Justice served. System changed. "Thomas, I'll expect weekly progress reports on the training implementation." "Sarah, Dr. Roberts will contact you directly about scheduling." Wilson nods vigorously. "Yes, sir." "Absolutely." "Rodriguez," James says, turning to the security guard. "You handled this situation professionally. I'll mention that in my board presentation." Rodriguez straightens slightly. Recognition for doing his job correctly while others failed theirs. Emma's phone shows 58,000 viewers. The story has gone international. Banks in London, Tokyo, and Sydney monitoring the situation. This isn't just about one branch in Chicago anymore. This is about corporate accountability everywhere. "Ladies and gentlemen," James addresses the lobby crowd that's been watching this drama unfold. "You've witnessed something important today. Not just discrimination being challenged, but systems being changed." He pauses, looking directly into Emma's camera. "Every person has the right to be treated with dignity. Every customer deserves professional service. Every institution must be held accountable for the culture it creates." The lobby erupts in spontaneous applause. Not just from the customers who witnessed the confrontation, but from people who understand they've seen justice served in real time. James walks toward the elevator bank, toward the boardroom where he'll present his quarterly assessment, where he'll recommend changes that will prevent this situation from ever happening again. "Oh, and Thomas," he calls back. "Yes, sir?" "Next time someone walks into your branch, regardless of how they look, how they dress, or what assumptions you make about their financial status, remember this moment." The elevator doors open. James steps inside. "Because I'll be watching. We'll all be watching." The doors close on a branch that will never be the same. 2 hours later, Sarah Mitchell sits in an empty conference room, staring at her reflection in the polished table. Her termination letter, she'd expected that. What she hadn't expected was the second document, Conditional Reemployment Agreement. Suspended with pay pending completion of bias interruption training. A chance to rebuild her career from the ground up. More mercy than she deserved. Her phone buzzes. A text from her sister. "Just saw you on CNN, are you okay?" CNN. The story has reached national cable news. Her humiliation broadcast to millions, but also her opportunity for redemption. Emma Davis uploads her final clip of the day. Her follower count has exploded from 847 to 127,000 in 6 hours. Journalism schools already reaching out with scholarship offers. But tonight, she's focused on something more important than personal gain. "Update for everyone following this story," she tells her camera. "I just spoke with Premier Trust's corporate communications team. Real changes are happening." She reads from a press release sent exclusively to her first. Premier Trust announces immediate implementation of comprehensive bias training across all 312 branch locations, third-party monitoring systems, anonymous reporting mechanisms, zero tolerance for discriminatory practices. The comments flood in faster than she can read them. This is how change happens. One person with courage can transform entire systems. From viral video to corporate policy in 6 hours. That's justice. Thomas Wilson sits in his car outside the bank, hands still shaking. Demoted from branch manager to senior associate, 23 years of climbing the corporate ladder undone in 40 minutes. But he still has a job. His team still has jobs. And maybe this is his chance to learn what he should have understood decades ago. His phone rings. Dr. Michelle Roberts, the bias training specialist James Anderson recommended. Mr. Wilson, I understand your branch needs immediate intervention. Her voice is professional but kind, not judgmental, focused on solutions rather than punishment. Yes, ma'am. We need help. Real help. Good. Admitting the problem is the first step toward fixing it. Can you meet tomorrow morning? We have a lot of work to do. Wilson closes his eyes. Yes. We'll do whatever it takes. Meanwhile, in Premier Trust's executive boardroom, James Anderson concludes his quarterly presentation to a room of stunned directors. The downtown branch incident demonstrates systemic failures in our customer service culture, he says, advancing to his final slide. But it also provides an opportunity for transformative change. Board Chairman Patricia Chen the same. Patricia, who'd been on the phone during the confrontation, speaks first. James, your recommendations are comprehensive, but the cost? The cost of implementing these changes is $2.3 million annually, James replies. The cost of not implementing them in lost business, legal exposure, and reputational damage could exceed $50 million. He clicks to a new slide showing Premier Trust's stock price over the past 6 hours, down 4.2% since the live stream went viral. Social media moves faster than corporate communications teams. By tomorrow morning, every major news outlet will be covering this story. Our response today determines whether we're remembered as the bank that discriminated or the bank that led industry-wide reform. Director Robert Taylor, 63 years old and skeptical of social media, raises his hand. This was one incident, one branch. Are we overreacting? James pulls up Emma's live stream statistics. 68,000 live viewers, 2.3 million total views across all platforms, trending globally in 17 countries. This isn't one incident anymore. It's a case study in corporate accountability. The room falls silent as board members process the numbers. Motion to approve all recommended reforms, Patricia Chen says firmly. Immediate implementation. Full funding authorization. Seconded, comes from 3 directors simultaneously. The vote is unanimous. 3 weeks later, Sarah Mitchell enters Dr. Roberts' training facility in downtown Chicago. 40 hours of intensive bias interruption education ahead of her. 8 other Premier Trust employees from various branches join her. Welcome to the most important professional development you'll ever receive, Dr. Roberts begins. Not because I say so, but because your actions from this moment forward will determine whether you're part of the problem or part of the solution. The training isn't comfortable. It's designed to be uncomfortable. Sarah learns about unconscious bias, systemic discrimination, the weight of assumptions made in split-second encounters. On day 3, she breaks down crying during a role-playing exercise. I destroyed a man's dignity because of the color of his skin, she sobs. I threw his documents on the floor like they were trash. Dr. Roberts hands her tissues but doesn't offer easy comfort. Sarah, recognizing the harm is step 1. Preventing future harm is step 2. What will you do differently? By graduation day, Sarah has fundamentally changed how she sees herself and her role in serving customers. The certificate she receives isn't just paper. It's a commitment to never again judge someone's worth by their appearance. Thomas Wilson implements every reform James Anderson recommended. Service monitoring software tracking interaction patterns. Anonymous feedback systems allowing customers to report bias without fear of retaliation. Monthly diversity audits measuring progress in real numbers. The branch's customer satisfaction scores improve dramatically, not just among minority customers, but across all demographics. Turns out, Treating everyone with dignity creates a better experience for everyone. Rodriguez gets promoted to Premier Trust's first ever Director of Inclusive Security Services. His job? Training security personnel across all branches to recognize bias and de-escalate situations professionally. The goal isn't to eliminate security, he explains to new trainees. It's to provide security that protects everyone equally. That never makes customers feel unwelcome because of how they look. Emma Davis's journalism career launches into orbit. CNN offers her an internship. The Columbia Graduate School of Journalism provides a full scholarship, but she stays at her local college, documenting social justice stories in Chicago. Her follow-up series, Banking While Black 6 months later, wins the National Edward R. Murrow Award for Digital Journalism. The series tracks how Premier Trust's reforms spread to other financial institutions nationwide. One live stream, one moment of courage, one demand for accountability, she tells viewers in her award acceptance speech. That's all it took to change an entire industry. James Anderson establishes the Banking Equality Foundation with $5 million in initial funding. The foundation provides bias interruption training for financial institutions nationwide. Within 6 months, 47 banks request their services. The foundation's motto: dignity, equality, excellence, in that order. Premier Trust's stock price not only recovers but reaches all-time highs. Customer acquisition soars. Employee satisfaction increases. The company becomes a case study in Harvard Business School's Crisis Management and Corporate Transformation curriculum. Most importantly, discrimination complaints across all Premier Trust branches drop by 89% within 6 months. Not because the problems disappeared, but because the culture changed from the top down. Word count: 1,187 out of 1,500 words. Need 313 more words. 6 months after that Tuesday afternoon in downtown Chicago, James Anderson returns to the same branch. Same navy sweater, same worn jeans, same understated appearance that had triggered such terrible assumptions. This time, Sarah Mitchell greets him with genuine professionalism. No assumptions, no judgments, just excellent customer service for every person who walks through the door. Good morning, Mr. Anderson. How can I assist you today? I need a wire transfer, he says simply. $50,000. Of course, sir. I'll process that immediately. The transaction takes 3 minutes. Professional, efficient, dignified. Is there anything else I can help you with today? James smiles. A real smile this time, not the predatory grin from 6 months ago. Actually, yes. I want to thank you. Sarah looks confused. Thank me? For doing the hard work of changing. For completing the training. For becoming the professional you are today. Sarah's eyes well up. Mr. Anderson, I'm so sorry for how I treated you. For the assumptions I made. For the dignity I stole from you. Apology accepted, James says simply. But more importantly, look around this branch. Look at how you serve every customer now. That's not an apology, that's transformation. The branch bustles with diverse customers. Elderly immigrants conducting business in multiple languages. Young entrepreneurs discussing startup loans. Families opening college savings accounts. All treated with identical respect and professionalism. Thomas Wilson, now senior associate but leading the branch's diversity initiatives, approaches with quarterly metrics. Mr. Anderson, our customer satisfaction scores are up 43%. Discrimination complaints down to 0 for 3 consecutive months. And employee satisfaction, James asks. Up 67%. Turns out, people prefer working in environments free from bias and discrimination. James nods. The numbers confirm what he'd known instinctively. Dignity isn't just morally right, it's good business. As he leaves, James notices a new plaque by the entrance. Premier Trust is committed to serving every customer with dignity, respect, and excellence. If you experience anything less, please speak with management immediately. Below it, a QR code linking to the anonymous reporting system that ensures this Tuesday afternoon in downtown Chicago never happens again. Change is possible. Accountability works. And sometimes, justice arrives one conversation at a time. 1 year later, James Anderson stands before a packed auditorium at Northwestern University's Kellogg School of Management. The lecture hall buzzes with energy as business students, executives, and social justice advocates fill every seat. Leadership isn't about the power you wield when people know who you are, he begins. It's about the dignity you maintain when they don't. The presentation screen shows Emma's original live stream. 68,000 live viewers that Tuesday afternoon. Now over 50 million total views across all platforms. The most watched corporate accountability video in internet history. Silent power isn't about staying quiet in the face of injustice, James continues. It's about responding with precision instead of emotion, with systems change instead of personal revenge. The audience leans forward as he shares the numbers that matter most. Premier Trust's discrimination complaints, down 94% system-wide. Customer satisfaction, highest in company history. Employee retention, up 67% across all demographics. Stock price, increased 23% year over year. When we choose transformation over destruction, everyone wins. Sarah Mitchell sits in the third row, now Premier Trust's Regional Diversity Training Coordinator. Her job, ensuring no customer ever experiences what James experienced. Her story, proof that people can change when given the opportunity. Thomas Wilson manages Premier Trust's new Inclusive Excellence program. From branch demotion to corporate leadership in 12 months. His transformation, evidence that accountability can coexist with redemption. Emma Davis reports for CNN from Chicago, covering social justice stories that spark nationwide conversations. Her journalism, showing how individual courage can create systemic change. The Banking Equality Foundation has now trained staff at 247 financial institutions across America, James tells his audience. What started as one terrible Tuesday afternoon became a movement that's touched millions of lives. The foundation's impact statistics scroll across the screen. 50,000 bank employees trained in bias interruption, 847 discrimination complaints resolved through new reporting systems, $12 million in funding provided to minority-owned businesses previously denied loans, 156 banks implementing real-time bias detection software. But the real victory isn't in these numbers, James says. It's in the countless interactions that now happen with dignity instead of discrimination, the assumptions that aren't made, the respect that's given freely. He clicks to his final slide, a photo of diverse customers conducting business at banks across America, all treated with identical professionalism, all served with equal dignity. Change happens when we document injustice, demand accountability, and create systems that prevent future harm. When we choose restoration over retaliation. The applause is thunderous. But James raises his hand for quiet. Now it's your turn. Share this story. Document discrimination when you witness it. Demand better from institutions that claim to serve everyone equally. He pauses, looking directly into the camera recording his lecture. Leave a comment about a time you witnessed or experienced bias. Share this video with someone who needs to understand that change is possible. Subscribe to stay connected with stories of quiet revolution.